Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hope you're all having a wonderful day. I actually had this really cool thing planned. I got from an inside source heads up on when the RLCS 2024 announcement was going to be, and I had it timed, and we were going to live react to it and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, my recording crashed. So we're hoping that doesn't happen again. But I'm going to get you guys the TLDR, the info, everything you need to know about the RLCS 2024 season. There's a lot of conversations coming into it. The timeline has been riddled with parodies and bait and stuff because I think everybody is bored, but RLCS 2024 is officially here. We've got all the dates, all the specifics, the changes, not the changes. Going in rumors that are now confirmed or not confirmed. New production team with Blast Premier. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about with that, go check out my previous video where I discuss it. There was conversations potentially about more teams at majors. We wanted to know when the start and end dates were. I've been talking about how it's going to be 2 splits into a world championship, so we get confirmation on that. And then people wondering what the format changes, when things are going to happen. Are there going to be team streams? What's the broadcast details? All that kind of stuff. We will be covering everything in today's video. So sit back and relax and let's take a peek. So while we're talking about this kind of openly, the conversation really stems from what some of the changes were and the focus of what they're trying to do, which is trying to do an open qualifier system. The changes in the kind of ideology is about how they can get as many eyes and people interested and invested. And there's some really good things about this. We don't need to watch this whole intro. But there's some pretty shocking things that are happening. Going over this blog post, I'm just going to kind of scroll through it and talk about it as I've already done this once. But for the most part, the biggest thing is that people are seeing is that the prize pool is dropping. It used to be 6 million plus or 6.1 million plus. Now it's down to 4.3. Why is that? And it's because they're getting rid of one split. They're also opening it up to a lot of people, and a lot more people are going to get paid. How much specifically, we'll have to wait and see. I'm really interested to see what the prize pool breakdown is for the qualifiers, as well as what it's going to be for the top 128 teams. But we don't get ahead of ourselves too much. So they are retooling the format. They're talking about simplicity. It started again when they went into this open qualifier system with the grid and the RLCS. They reduced and got rid of the grid, and then they are simplifying it ever since. The formats were overcomplicated. They were convoluted. That is no longer the case. It is literally cut and paste every step of the way to make it as simple as possible to understand. What is changing now is what we used to call Regional 1, 2, and 3 that had weighted seeding is no longer the case. It is now straight open qualifier. I don't know if high-profile teams are going to have weighted seeds or how that's going to work in a double elimination, but the way that it's going to work now is there's going to be 3 in-person qualifiers, or 3 in-person events. Major 1, Major 2, and then the World Championship. In each major, or leading up to each major, there's going to be 3 open qualifier tournaments. 6 total, basically. So you have Regional 1, 2, 3, Major 1, Regional 4, 5, 6, Major 2, World Championship. What they're trying to do is make it as simple as possible to understand, and they're going to do this in 3 steps. Each open qualifier has 3 stages. Number 1 is a double elimination bracket, a massive double elimination bracket with the top 16 teams progressing through. If you are one of those top 128 teams, though, you will get paid, which is cool. We'll talk about that in a bit. If you are one of the top 16 teams, you then go into the second stage, which is a Swiss, which is my favorite format. 1-0 plays 1-0, 2-0 plays 2-0, 3-0 plays 3-0. You get 3 wins, you progress to the top 8. If you get 3 losses, you pack up. It's 33 matches total in Swiss. It's the best way to find out teams. I personally don't like double elimination, but I do enjoy it when trying to weed out teams and remove teams. Double elimination groups, double elimination qualifiers, things like that, I really do enjoy. But Swiss, to me, gives you the best teams progressing forward. Everybody has 3 lives, 3 chances. You get strength of schedule. Your performance matters every single time. It will give you the best 8 teams. I think it works out really, really well. Outside of that, then, when you're top 8, you then go into a single elimination bracket. There's no bracket resets. There's no confusion about shoulda, coulda. They did it the first time, all that kind of stuff. It is very cutthroat, which I'm a fan of. Points are going to be awarded, and then even more points at majors. What's different about majors this time is they are reducing the amount of teams in NA and EU. NA now has 4 teams, EU has 4 teams, but they are giving MENA an additional team, and they're giving SSA an additional team, which I'm a big fan of. MENA has proven themselves. Rule 1, Falcons, etc. have done a great job. SSA is never going to get better unless they're exposed to international competition more than once a year. Now they have that opportunity. They are not expanding teams at majors or world championships. They're actually reducing at world championships. Only 16 teams, like it was in the past for majors. What was a wild card into the world championship of 24 is now just 16, and it's as cutthroat as ever. They're going to use the same format throughout everything. where it goes. And once you get to the majors or the world championship, they skip the double elimination because they don't need to weed out teams. Swiss into single elimination. 33 matches. How many broadcast days is that going to be? How many in-person days? We'll have to wait and see, but you're talking 33 plus another 8. It's a lot of matches. Curious on how they're going to do coverage for those. Again, after both events, the crazy thing, because there's 2 splits, is no one's really out of the running. If you have a really bad split 1 but a great split 2, you can definitely make a comeback. So I'm very interested to see on how Direct is going to wrap his head around tiebreakers and stuff, because it is going to be crazy. But no one's really out of the running. You may see some pick up random teams make a run all the way through, but they have to definitely outperform. Again, if a team does really well in the first split in the first major, then they should be able to do a relatively decent job in the second one, which will hold their spot. We'll see how it goes. Very similar to how we actually did season 1 of RLCS, where there was 2 splits, accumulated points and all that kind of stuff, except for it was less. Actually, no, it's pretty much split 1 of the RLCS. We're going back to our origins. Crazy stuff. Maybe they'll hire me on again. Jokes aside, but if any teams need a team stream or they need a broadcaster, host talent, whatever, hit me up. I'm down. We literally ran all of V1's content. We had the #1 team stream rated, and would love to do it again. So looking for a team, hit me up if any orgs are watching this. For the World Championship qualification teams, again, same thing. 4-4, 2-2, 2-1-1. Breakdown is the exact same. These are due to size of the region, how many teams that have signed up, strength of schedule, all that kind of stuff. The big thing that's changing, though, is the pricing. As I mentioned, distribution has widened. I may have to sign up for this because I have multiple teams made top 128, and now you can get paid for it if you're an NA and EU. That's actually pretty crazy. If you're a top 128 team in North America or Europe, you're getting paid out. How much? We don't know. That's still pretty crazy. And that reduces based upon the smaller regions. SAM, OC, and MENA are 64. APAC and SSA is 32. Still cool, compensating more people. The benefit of people being paid out on this is hopefully this will open up the ecosystem like it did in Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike for a long time had a really crazy circuit system, and then the pros were like, this is too much. We need a dedicated offseason. They got 3 months. You guys have probably heard me talk about this a lot, whether it be on stream and other videos. It seems like we're trying to recreate that, because the cool thing about paying and providing support to other areas, more people sign up, more people are willing to pay, more people are willing to compete, more organizations come in, an amateur scene can be created. It basically fleshes out. So rather than having like 8 to 12 really big organizations, you can have like 32, because based upon compensation, it is sustainable now to pick up a team that's somewhere in that middle of the pack. You don't only get paid if you're at the top. So some benefits to that for a lot of the guys at the top. I'm sure the timeline's going crazy right now. The minimum age is now 13, which is going to require a sign-on or a parental guardian to give permission. That's nothing new. The coaches and managers have to be 18 now as well. Part of that is so they can be a stand-in guardian for when they travel. Hopefully this provides a little bit of maturity and stuff too. You don't really see too many coaches, managers that are under that age, unless it's like, hey friend, do you want a free path to a major and come travel the world with us? So maybe some changes there, but most coaches, managers are at least 18. That hasn't been an issue. There's more rules officially in the book, but we're not going to dive into that. And then they break down the schedule. Signups officially start on the 17th. So we've got a week from today that signups open up. And then on top of that, everything will get started and ready to go. Rosters have to be locked on the 22nd of January. So finalization then. As for the new formats and stuff, hopefully an easier breakdown. There is split 1, which leads to major 1. There's 3 open qualifiers with 3 stages in each. Open qualifier 1, big double elimination to bring us our top 16. Once we get top 16, they then play Swiss. Once we get our top 8, they then play single elimination. The first regional is going to be on January 26th, a 3-day event. It's going to be that Friday, that 26th, is going to be a ton of matches for people to get through. It looks like they're doing a stage per day. So what's awesome about this for the open qualifiers is they are doing a qualifier over an extended period of time. Qualifier 1 is going to be over the course of 2 weeks. The first part is the double elimination stage where we get our top 16. And then the following week, you have Swiss, which is going down on 1 day, which is what they've done in the past. Team stream days and stuff are probably going to be this, where we find out who our teams that progress into the single elimination bracket is. And then this will be RLCS broadcast as well. They'll probably do RLCS broadcast on these days. So a lot of opportunities for team streams and paths. This qualification process is what is different now. On top of that, then, A couple weeks later, same thing. A couple weeks after that, same thing. So wrapping up by March with a major in March. If it ends beginning of March, figure this to be like the 21st, like third week of March, if I had to guess. They then have a transfer window, which goes for 2 weeks, which is kind of short, but I don't think it's too bad. As long as it's not like 7 to 10 days, it needs to be a little bit longer. And then hopefully that also, because there is only one transfer window, it limits the amount of roster changes because there's only 2 splits. Changing a player in the middle of the season when you have 2 chances is kind of crazy. So I doubt to see that unless there's a really good free agent available, but that's a massive risk. We then repeat that process from April to May with a major in June. Assume another few weeks after this, figure like the 2nd or 3rd week of June as well. And then we take a very long break, and then we go into Worlds in September. I don't know if it's going to be early, middle, end of September, but you're talking about a season that starts end of January, basically February, and goes all the way till September. 8-9 month season, 3-month off season. Makes a lot of sense. Gives some dedicated times. We don't know details on broadcasts outside of the fact that you can watch them on all the same platforms and in Fortnite per usual, but they say that coming soon they'll have additional information, broadcast schedules, which will hopefully detail things. Hopefully it'll provide us more details on prize pool breakdowns, all that kind of stuff, before everything gets underway. So we've got about a week and a couple days. You got to lock in and get ready to go by not next Monday, but the Monday after. But yeah, signups and stuff are closing soon. So you got a week. Pretty crazy stuff. Now, with all that in mind, obviously some pretty crazy changes. New production team, payouts up to 128 players in NA and EU, or 128 teams. You've got reduced amount of spots for NA and EU, which makes it more cutthroat than ever. You have less like splits to earn points, so getting to a major is super important. Maintaining your spot super important. Open qualifiers, don't know if they're doing weighted seeding for that. If it's just straight double elimination, open quals, there is going to be some massive upsets. So there is some excitement for that, but it also is scary that if you're a team and you don't make it forward, like that could be the end, man. So it is pretty interesting to see how this goes. It is going to be different. It's going to take some time to get used to. Whether it'll be better or worse, I don't know, but I can guarantee you there's some people on the timeline that are like, I don't like this. A lot of job security has been lifted for these pros. There is no longer a, hey, you get a wait because you performed well, and now you get to keep that spot in the top 16 or the top 24. It is put up or shut up every single week. Hopefully it forces these kids to grind and take this shit seriously because it is your job. Crazy stuff. I think the ones that have proper structure, proper integrity, all the things I've been praising this entire offseason are going to be rewarded the hardest. So crazy stuff. If you guys have any additional questions, comments, concerns, we'll be talking about this on my live stream here in about an hour and a half or so. I've got a meeting that I've got to take care of, but a lot to discuss. It's going to be pretty crazy. Excited to see your guys' reactions. I will answer all of your questions on stream as well. So if you would like to make sure you have those, let me know in the comments down below. Any questions, any thoughts, feedback, opinions, we'll react to it and stuff later. But yeah, crazy things all around. And as always, if you guys enjoy the content, like, subscribe, turn on notifications. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.